everybody, this is Eric Worre and welcome to networkmarketingpro.com. I'm here with another one of the industry legends, Mr. Todd Smith. Where are you living now?
Sarasota, Florida.
Sarasota, Florida. Mr. Smith, this is the first time I've had a chance to actually sit down with him. I've known about him for many, many years. I've borrowed so many of his concepts and trainings and ideas in my career. He's been around the industry for 19 years.
Yep.
19 years. And has had over $21 million in commissions, in earnings during that period of time. So a tremendous career, not only big income, but for a long time. Created over $1 billion in sales in the organizations that he's built around the world. So first of all, thank you for spending the time.
Yeah, happy to, Eric. It's great to be here.
I appreciate it very much. Here's what I would like to start off by asking you. Everybody that's watching this program wants to become a network marketing professional. They want to learn how to make the income that you learned, or that you've earned. So what do you see? I mean, what are some of the things that you've done different? But in addition to that, what have you seen as the common denominator for the super successful versus the people who want this bad but don't necessarily have the same kind of success? What's the difference maker?
Well, I think the first thing that goes to my mind is desire. You know, I say that success begins with desire, because without desire, you won't do what is required to succeed. And I've even modified that to success begins with a burning desire, because everybody's got a desire to have a nicer home or a nicer car, but it's how strong that desire is that drives a person. And in my case, I believe that a big part of my success began with my burning desire to reach a point where I would be financially independent and where I would be able to have the control of my life that I now have. So certainly desire is where I think it all begins.
So talk about that when you first got involved with the profession. What was that process like? What did the person say to you to get you to take a look at this network marketing career path? And was it something magical, special in order to be able to make that happen?
No, I think in my case, first of all, I came in the industry, as funny as it is, by responding to an ad in a newspaper.
Wow.
And I called the gentleman, and he was a great mentor of mine, and I asked him, what he was doing, and my background was in real estate, and I used to sell over 100 homes a year, so he asked me a little bit about myself, and I asked him what he was doing, and he said, Todd, if you'd like to know what I'm doing, I'd be happy to sit down and discuss it with you. And I said, well, can you tell me a little bit about what it is over the phone? He said, it's not really a business that we can talk about over the phone. If you'd like to know what I'm doing, I'd be happy to sit down and talk with you. And I said, well, is it network marketing? He says, Todd, I'm not going to get into what we're doing over the phone. If you'd like to know what I'm doing, I'd be happy to meet with you. And I said, well, is it Amway? And he said, it's not Amway, it's not Shackley, it's like nothing you've seen before. So I said, okay, great. So I went and met with him and saw the presentation. Was impressed with specifically the ability to create a leveraged income, and I had learned in the personal growth that I've gone through in life and the tape series I've listened to that you really never can get ahead exchanging time for money. That if you want to get ahead, you need to be in a vehicle that allows you to create that leverage to where that income can grow without necessarily your efforts. And so I got started, and he coached me, and because of the success I'd had before in real estate, he saw the importance, in my case, of getting me off to a fast start, because at this time in my life, 19 years ago, I was making $400,000 a year as a realtor, and he realized that, hey, I need to help this guy get off to a fast start. So he set up a private presentation at my home, and he said, Todd, you better have 10 of the sharpest people that you know there, or I'm not coming back. And
tough.
Yeah, he was tough, but that was the key. That was I'm convinced that I'm here today, even talking to you, because of how I was brought into the business, and the coaching that I received at that very early part of my business. And so we talked every day. He said, okay, let's talk about what you're saying, and we talked about every single person that I called. What did you say? What did this person say? What did you say? What did this person say? Went through, okay, you did this good, you did this good, you need to not do this and not do this. And so he coached me every day. In my first private presentation, I had 38 people there, 22 last names. Second one, we had 68 people. Third one, 118, and turned into a weekly meeting with more than 400 people after 4 months, 1,600 people in my organization. But it was all initiated by the fact that I had a sponsor who didn't just sponsor me, which a lot of people do. and then say, okay, go have at it. But a guy who sponsored me and coached me and made sure that I was doing the right activities correctly so that I would have success, and I did.
Here's what I'm hearing everybody that's watching this program is saying right now. Ha! That's the reason why I'm not as successful as I want to be, because I didn't have a sponsor like he had. He had a sponsor that rolled up his sleeves and did all this stuff. I didn't have it. So I'm hearing, I promise you, most people watching this program have that huge limiting belief that that's the answer. So what would you say to those people that maybe don't have that person like you had?
Be the kind of sponsor that you wish you had. You can't change anything that's happened. You can't roll back the clock. All you can do is be the kind of sponsor that you wish you would have had.
Okay. All right. What do you see as the next big kind of game changer in our profession? What's the next step? We do $120 billion a year in sales. We operate in 100 countries around the world. 67 million people are involved in our profession. And yet you talked about the perception in people's minds, even in this troubled economy, the perception in people's minds about network marketing. What do you think is going to be the game changer in order to be able to, for us all to hit that tipping point, and we go from kind of being obscure to being a popular alternative for people?
Well, I think there's a number of things, but the one that goes through my mind right now, Eric, is just in how we conduct ourselves as professionals. Part of the reason the industry has a reputation that's not the most positive is because of the way that people have handled themselves, the way that they have branded themselves and thus branded the industry. And as a leader in the industry,
can you give me some examples?
Examples
of what they've done that have branded the industry poorly.
I think setting people up for unrealistic expectations. You can come in and make all this kind of money working just a couple hours a week. It doesn't work that way. I think a lot of sneaky and deceptive type approaches have certainly reflected poorly on the industry. I think another thing that really has nothing to do with the industry, but the industry gets blamed for it, is people who quit. I mean, let's take an example of real estate, which was my background. 1 out of 100 real estate agents in the state of Illinois would renew their license a year later. These are people who went to school for 8 weeks, they invested money in a real estate license, but at the end of the day, when it got down to the bottom line that they would have to pick up the phone and begin making phone calls and push themselves outside their comfort zone, these people lost confidence in their ability and thus quit. Well, when you know somebody who went to real estate school that then doesn't pursue a career in real estate, you don't think, well, real estate doesn't work, because very few people may know that person failed in their attempt to build a real estate business. But in network marketing, people get started and they call everybody they know. Well, then if they don't follow through, then all these people that they contacted say, well, it doesn't work because it didn't work for this person. Well, that one person quit. That's the reason it didn't work. I mean, you can't find people in this industry where this didn't work for them if they stay with it. The only time it doesn't work is when people quit. And that's one of the keys, is having the discipline to do what you know you should do, even when you don't feel like doing it. And so I think that there's some of these things that we can control in the industry, but most important, I think it's we need to present ourselves in a credible way. We need to present this industry in a credible way. We need to treat people with respect, and we need to handle ourselves with honor and integrity. And I think that as we as leaders do that, and others do this as well, I think we can begin to brand the industry in a positive way. Because the bottom line is, think about what this industry offers. The ability for somebody to start a business with very little money, short learning curve, no ongoing overhead, and to have the ability to earn, like in my case, over $21 million. And look at the quality of life this business provides. I work out of my home. I'm with my wife every morning for coffee and afternoon. I have lunch with my children because they're homeschooled. We have an amazing quality of life. There's nobody I know in this planet, other than other people in the industry like me, who enjoy the kind of quality of life this business provides. So it's the income, the quality of life, the lifestyle, the freedom, the flexibility, all of this for a business that you can start part-time, as I did. I came to the industry part-time, and begin to develop a business over time that allows you to go full time. So I think it's an amazing industry, and I think if we go out and build it in the right way, we're gonna begin to have people see that, hey, this is an industry that people are successful in, and I can be successful in it too.
Yeah, I will tell you we talk on the show all the time about becoming a network marketing professional, which is an attitude. This attitude of distributors that come in with a lottery mentality are disposable. But professionals are permanent. If you learn some skills, you can just decide, even if it's part-time, become a professional as far as in this network marketing arena. And if you do that, I mean, you can't be stopped. One thing that I think is true is, because I know some people that say, you know what, I haven't quit, I'm still here, but I'm not making the money that I want to be able to make. Well, it's not just continue to breathe and be in your particular company or opportunity. You have to breathe and you have to get better. You have to work on yourself, the personal development aspect of what, develop your skills. If you're talking to people and no one will look at your opportunity, well, you just, at some point, you've got to work on the skills instead of just repeating that behavior over and over and over. So it's not about persistence that way. It's about some skill sets. And you're one of the best people, I think, in our entire profession as far as teaching people skill sets, real skills to become professionals. And one of the things that I first became aware of you on was this aspect of inviting, which is the number one challenge for people. So can you kind of encapsulate maybe some tips and ideas on how to be a better inviter, how to go out to the world, how you would do it, go out to the world and have them just at least take a look at what people have to offer?
I can, and let me just also say along the lines of personal growth, and that is I am a firm believer that your business will only grow as much as you grow. You grow, your business grows. You grow, your business grows. Very seldom does your business grow without you growing. And if you don't grow, over time, your business comes right back to where you are. It's like the economy, it's like a lot of things in life. There is a point where they settle down to the foundation. And if people want to grow their businesses, they must first grow themselves. Nobody will advance in rank in a compensation plan unless they have first grown first. Nobody will grow their income unless they grow first. What fundamentally people need to understand is that if they want to grow their business, it begins with growing them. And a lot of times people can come into this business and maybe they have developed some of these skills like I had done in real estate that allowed me to enjoy the fast start that I had. But I still had to continue to grow and develop myself if I wanted to continue to grow and develop my business. And so from a concept, I believe very firmly in that. But as you just said as well about people breathing and wondering why their business isn't growing, this is a business in my mind that you have to focus on the deposit slip mentality. You have to measure your progress by not how long you've been in the company, but how much time you're spending with that phone next to your ear, how much time you are spending face to face with people. I'll talk to people that will tell you, hey, Todd, I'm not really doing quite well. And I say, well, how many hours a week are you working? And they'll say, well, I'm working 20 hours a week. And I'll say, in the last week, how many people did you contact? Well, 2. Okay, well, what'd you do with the last, with the other 19 hours and 45 minutes? Because they're confusing activity with accomplishment. And, I'm getting a little sidetracked here, but
it's okay.
I had a conversation with Jeff Roberti. Jeff Roberti is another very successful lead in the industry. He's earned over $62 million. And I asked him how he got started. And he's 18 years old. He was a waiter in a restaurant. He said, Todd, I made 700 to 1,000 phone calls a week. 700 to 1,000 phone calls a week. And he did that, consistently as he got his business started. And, no wonder that he's had the success he has. I mean, how many people make 700 to 1,000 phone calls a week? How many make 7 to 10 phone calls a week? And so to go to your question on inviting, first of all, a person has to be willing to pick up the phone and make the phone calls. You can learn how to invite until you're blue in the face, but if you're not going to be disciplined to push yourself to make those phone calls when you don't feel like making them, because most of us don't ever feel like making them, but if you're not willing to push yourself, then you're not going to be successful. And obviously Jeff, on one extreme, was willing to do that on a level that is unheard of, but again, $62 million is also unheard of. But in inviting, what I believe is a key in inviting people to look at the business is to think about the person that you're calling before you call them, and to ask yourself, why would this person have an interest in our company, in this kind of an opportunity? And to think maybe at the same time, how could I compliment this person? Why would I want to be in business with this person? And then what I teach is you give the person a call and you exchange pleasantries and have small talk based upon what's appropriate. And especially right now in the market, first question I ask people is, how's the economy affecting you? Or have you found a way to escape it? And I've yet to find one person other than some of us in the industry, because our business is growing. I know your business is growing. I mean, a lot of people thought their businesses were recession-proof, but now they're learning that they're not. And so most everybody says, well, yeah, we're cutting back here. It's tough. And how perfect is that? I just say, let me ask you a question. If there was a way that you could diversify your income without it affecting what you're currently doing, would you be open to learning more about it? And
would you be open?
Yeah, would you be open? That's the great word. Would you be open to learning more about it? And if
I think it's a small nuance, but it's an important one. Mm-hmm. Just the would you be open thing,
right?
Versus would you be interested,
right? And I use that word also.
Would you be interested implies much more of a investment. Would you be open is just a state of mind, right?
Yep.
So I'm sure you get much better results with that.
And also in following up after using tools. Based upon what you heard, based upon what you saw, would you be open to learning more? Not would you be interested in learning more? And so a lot more people are open to learning more than may have an interest in learning more. You ask people, are you open to learning more? Okay, I'd be open to learning more. Well, are you interested in learning more? Maybe not. So on the invitation, asking people, based upon, what's going on in your current work environment, if there was a business that made sense where you could diversify your income, and not have it affect what you're doing, would you be open to taking a look at it? And it's hard to find somebody who says no. And then from there, based upon whatever tool you're going to use or whatever way that you're going to introduce the business, you proceed forward with that. But
yeah. So is that you're basically just doing that with everybody?
Everybody.
And that is your one of the in this economy, it's the
best way to open a conversation. You have the small talk and you say, hey man, off the record, how's the economy affecting you? Or have you guys
off the record.
Yeah, have you guys found a way to escape it? No, we haven't found a way to escape it. I mean, things are pretty tough right now. We just laid off a bunch of people. Everybody here is pretty nervous, and what a perfect setup.
So say it again. So when they say everybody's a little nervous, say the invite one more time.
Yeah, they give me some reason that gives me an opportunity to open the door, and I just say something different every time, right?
Yeah.
But I just say, let me ask you a question. If there was a business that made sense, that you could start part-time and not have it interfere with what you're doing, would you be open to taking a look at it?
And I'd say, yeah, I guess I'd be open.
Yeah. And, one of the things
and then you go to some form of third-party tool?
Well, yes, and so let's assume we'll take one tool that pretty much everybody has in the industry is a CD. And, say, if that person says they'd be open to learn more, I'd say...
And whatever your company has, CD, DVD, magazine, website, live event, doesn't matter, the invitation will work for that.
Yeah. And so if I'm using a CD as an example, I'd say, what, if I'm with them, I'm going to say, listen to this. I think you're going to really be impressed with what you hear. And then I'd like to sit down and kick around some ideas with you on what we can do to work together to really grow and develop this market. If the person's on the phone, I might say, I'm going to drop a CD in the mail. And it outlines what we're doing, and I think as you listen to this message, you're going to really see a truly unique business that offers really some great potential, especially in this market, because the business I'm working with, we're growing. There's not a lot of people growing in this economy, and we are. And I think when you listen to it, you're going to certainly see why. If I get this to you today and you have it tomorrow, how soon? Here's the question. How soon can you listen to it? Because their mind immediately begins saying, well, how soon? Well, if I get it tomorrow, I'm driving in the car, I'll probably listen to it tomorrow night. So the word how soon is a key word. How soon can you listen to it? And they say, well, I can listen to it tomorrow night. Say, great. What would be a convenient time that I can follow up with you tomorrow night? Because I believe in talking to people as soon as they have reviewed the tool. Because, as I always say, that for every time the clock goes tick, 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 their interest level declines after they have reviewed the tool because they forget what they reviewed. And so I believe in trying to follow up with these people as soon as possible, but also getting a firm commitment, which I have found to be very important before I ever give anybody any tool. It's a firm commitment of a time to follow up. And my career, I've scheduled thousands of firm appointments, and I've never had one person who's been offended by it. It's how you do business. It conveys you're professional, exactly, and that you value your time. And so, sometimes I'll have people say, well, I can listen to it tomorrow night. Well, can I follow up tomorrow night? Well, maybe tomorrow night's not good. How about the next day? Well, great. Would morning or afternoon be better? Well, afternoon's good. Would 2 o'clock be good or 4 o'clock better? And kind of the old alternative choice. Well, 4 o'clock's good. Great. I'll give you a call at 4. I'm writing it right now in my appointment book. I'm going to give you a call tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. And so I find that getting a commitment is very important. Otherwise, you just waste your time, and then you follow up with people, and they haven't listened to the CD, which is also another reason you set a firm time, because it serves as a deadline, a goal when they need to have reviewed the CD or whatever the tool is. And also by scheduling that appointment, you're being productive with your time. You're able to follow up with them. If you don't schedule an appointment, you end up calling them and invariably get their voicemail, and you leave a message, and then they oftentimes don't call you back. You got to call them again. Then you feel like you're chasing them, and they feel like they're being chased. And that's part of the problem with the industry, is that some of the way that people approach others and their aggressiveness undermines their credibility. But if they handle themselves as professionals, set firm appointments, get together with these people on the phone, schedule in-person meetings, which I know you agree with is the critical factor in this business.
Talk about that for a moment, the fact of face-to-face. Because a lot of people, there's so many tools today. Social media, Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, LinkedIn, everybody's all emailing each other and sending different messages around to each other, and a lot of people, there's great tools used the right way.
Right.
Great tools to build up your list, great tools to get other people to talk to over time, done properly, not done rudely, done properly. But you mentioned it a few times, and I'm glad you have, face-to-face, face-to-face, face-to-face. I'm a big believer in sit-downs. I'm a big believer in face-to-face. So, share what you mean by that.
Well, certainly over my career of 19 years, I've used every tool there is in the market. And at the end of the day, it all boils down to, certainly you can use different tools to create interest in your business, but at the end of the day, you've got to get together with people. That's where the relationships are built. Just like this, I can sit here with you and read your body language. You're not multitasking while I'm on the phone with you. You're not, oftentimes you follow up, you try and talk to people over the phone, they're looking at their email screen, they're watching TV, the kids are running through the house. When you get together face-to-face with people, you're able to build a relationship with them. You have their undivided attention, just as we have each other's attention here. And generally when you schedule face-to-face appointments, you have more time. Because if you follow up with people and you're trying to do everything over the phone, most of the time people don't block out an hour to have a phone conversation with you. But when they're scheduling a time to meet with you, most people will block out an hour for that. And it allows you to build that relationship, to talk about the business, to really find out find out what's important to that person. And so oftentimes, when I'm meeting with people, if you were to do something like this, Eric, why would you do it? Because just like I said a minute ago, that success begins with desire, because without desire, people won't do what's required to succeed. So I want to find out, if you were to do this, why would you do it? Because I'm interviewing you in a sense, because if you don't have a strong enough desire to do something like this, I don't want to waste my time with you. Right. That's one of the things that I don't do, is I don't waste time with people. Most people new in the industry waste a lot of time because they tend to want to measure their success by
How do you decide who you're going to invest time with?
I decide who I'm going to invest time with based upon, do they do what they say they're going to do? Are they a responsible person? If they told me that they're going to listen to the CD by 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, did they listen to it? Were they available when I called? Versus not being available, not answering the phone, not calling me back.
Do you give them another chance, or you give them a few chances, or is it one time?
I'll give them a couple chances. I'm not the kind of guy that has a lot of patience. If you tell me you're going to do something, if I'm going to work with you, I'm going to expect that you're going to do it. And so this whole process where I'm introducing the business to somebody, I'm interviewing them. I'm making a decision. Is this a person that I want to spend my time with? Do I want to invest my time with them? Is this a person I would enjoy working with? Because I was going to say a minute ago, is a lot of times people measure their success by the number of people that can fog up a mirror. Not me. I mean, I've sponsored a very few number of people, and I've got a very high ratio of success on the people I've sponsored because I'm sponsoring the right people. So a lot of this...
and working with them properly. Yep. And pardon me for interrupting, but a common theme that I've heard with a lot of top professionals, big earners, is they set the tone of what the relationship's going to be. Mm-hmm. What I see so many amateurs do is they go and they beg people to join their business, and then they beg people to do something in their business, and they beg and they beg and they plead and they plead. And the leaders, the big earners, they go, no. I've got the gift. My time's valuable. Even the first day that they joined, mm-hmm. they decided that that posture was going to be important, and they set the parameters of what the relationship was going to be with the people in their organization if they were going to spend some time. That's a huge differentiator, I think.
I agree. I mean, one of the things that I teach my people is that you need to write on a piece of paper the largest check you can see your name on. And then you need to act as if you're making that kind of money. Because if you don't act as if you're already making that kind of money, you will never make that kind of money. People say, well, just like this, well, it's easy for these leaders to have posture because look how successful they are.
No,
well,
first.
What comes first? The success or the posture? The posture comes first. And so I think it's very important for people to understand that and to come across in a confident way, because let's face it, I mean, if I'm talking to you as a prospect, one of the things you're evaluating more than the business is me, mm-hmm. whether or not I can help you. And if I'm confident in what I'm doing, if I'm confident, even if I'm faking it, because I was taught to fake it until you make it, right? Even if I'm faking it, but I'm speaking with confidence and authority, you're going to be more attractive to the business than if it appears that I want you. If you sense that I'm interviewing you to determine if I want to work with you, you're going to be more drawn for me to select you. But if it appears that, maybe you're like, okay, this guy's like everybody else in network marketing, he's trying to get me into this thing for his own benefit, then you're going to be turned off and not joining. So I mean, a lot of times people think that the business is the most important thing. I don't agree with that. I think that the prospects are evaluating us more than they're evaluating the business. Can this person help me? Do I have confidence in this person? Do I want to work with this person? Could I see this person meeting with my brightest and best prospects? Which is why I always believe in dressing professional, branding myself in a very positive way, so that people can say, hey, he's a kind of guy that I could see myself having him meet with my people.
Well, and I'll say one other thing, because what goes through my head when I hear that is, well, there's so many people that don't necessarily have that today. They don't feel like they have the success or whatever. And we were there when we first started in the business, our first minute mm-hmm. in this profession. But what you can do is you can make up in passion and hustle what you might lack in ability today. Mm-hmm. I mean, if I'm sitting down with you and I'm brand new to the profession, but I'm so passionate, and I'm saying, we're going to hustle together. We're going to learn it together. And if there's a problem, we're going to solve it together. Yeah. And I'm going to hustle and I'm going to run with you. I don't necessarily need to have all the answers.
No.
Before you're going to have belief in that.
Right.
If I'm willing to hustle and if I've got a lot of passion, and you can read that.
And if you are committed.
Yeah. The passion, commitment, all that stuff, you kind of go, okay, he's learning just like I am, but we can learn together. Okay, he's committed, he's passionate, he's willing to hustle. He can be an asset for me, or she can be an asset for me. Just with those three things, not necessarily skill.
Right.
Because you don't have to have skill in order to be able to be attractive to somebody else.
Well, you look at the story I shared about Jeff Roberti earlier. 18 years old, he's a waiter in a restaurant. Okay.
Right.
What did he have to do? He had to make many more phone calls than I would have had to make, because he hadn't yet developed many of the skills that I had developed. So he had to offset that by working harder. Right. And he did. And over the years, and his commitment to personal development as well, he's become just a great person mm-hmm. as a result of all that he has been through. So commitment is such a big thing. I mean, when I look at successful leaders in the industry, I mean, they all have the deposit slip mentality. They're focusing on the things that are
deposit slip mentality.
Right.
To define that.
Doing the things that will result in a deposit slip in the bank, which basically means if that phone is to your ear and you're talking to prospects, You're following up with prospects, you're getting decisions, you're getting people started, you're coaching, training your organization, you're being productive with your time. It's going to result in a deposit slip in the bank. But most people confuse activity with accomplishment.
Let's define a couple of those things.
Okay.
What are some of the things that are not productive but end up filling up people's time?
Thinking. They're sitting at home thinking about what they're going to say. They're maybe writing their script for the 500th time. Everything but picking up the phone. They block out time maybe to build their business in the evening, but they sit there and say, well, before I call somebody, I really need to make sure that I'm comfortable with what I'm going to say, and I need to review all this again. Well, before they know it, they say, oh, there's only 15 minutes left. I'm just going to do this tomorrow night. Tomorrow night comes, and it's another set of excuses. Where the deposit slip mentality is, you blocked out time to build your business. You block out from 6 till 8. At 6:01, you got that phone to your ear. You're making phone calls. You're being productive. And I think that's a key also to what leads to people's confidence. I mean, if you're the kind of person that is willing to block out time and make those phone calls during that time, you feel great. I mean, those people I just described who don't make the calls, they feel like crap because they didn't do what they should have done, and they have all that negative self-talk, which then destroys their self-esteem, it destroys their self-confidence. But the people who are willing to pick up that phone and make those calls, when they get done, man, they're going in the room, they're high-fiving their spouse, they're excited, they feel good about themselves, they did what they knew they should do, and they didn't feel like doing it, and all of a sudden now they have more confidence the next day to do it again, and all of a sudden they start walking a little higher, and they start walking a little more, with a little more posture, all because they're willing to do what they know they should do, and that's the key. And part of deposit slip is not just on the phone, but it's getting together with people. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are trying to, with the technology that's available, do everything over the phone. And no, you need to, that's the confusing thing. Just because you're on the phone doesn't necessarily mean you're being productive. I mean, yes, it's a big part of being productive if it's used the right way, but when people are open to learning more, when they're interested in your opportunity, getting together with those people quickly, keeping the momentum going as quickly as their schedule allows, which is why I'm always saying, how soon could you listen to the video? How soon could we get together? What is your schedule like today or tomorrow? Not, can we get together within the next week? None of that. Or, a lot of times people say, well, when do you think you can listen to the CD? No, it's how soon can you listen to the CD. It's all about momentum. It's all about not only momentum in the prospecting process, but it's all about momentum in getting people started. Mm-hmm. Just like my sponsor who got me started, It was all about momentum. And a lot of times people sponsor people and they think they're done, but no. Now they got the next phase of helping that person keep going, and it's not even momentum for the next few days or few weeks. It's a business of momentum, keeping that momentum going.
Yeah, every little step of the way. Yeah. So being on the phone, being face to face in front of people, coaching the people in your organization that deserve it.
Right.
Not the ones that are laying there dead, matching energy to energy.
Yeah.
You hear that over. If they rise, you rise. If they go down, your energy goes down as far as investment of time. And then trying to avoid the cheerleading complex, which is calling all of your peers in your company and telling each other how excited you are, to avoid actually face-to-face interactions with prospects and with new people building their business, move that momentum forward.
And I'll also say that one of the things, I did a recent training on the top 20 characteristics that are common among all top leaders in the industry. And one of those things is that the top leaders in this industry don't talk too much. And when people talk too much, I'll talk to somebody, one of my downlines say, they say, I was just talking to this prospect. Well, how long were you on the phone with them? 30 minutes. You should not be on the phone with somebody that you're inviting to look at your business for 30 minutes. Well, we were kind of catching up on things. No. Hey, you make the phone call. Hey, Eric, I got just a minute, but wanted to give you a call. You say things like that so that you're not spending too much time talking, but I'm sure you think about every leader none of them talk too much.
No.
And so, if you're somebody that talks too much and you know it, then that's something you've got to fix because you're wasting a lot of time talking too much.
Interesting. So interesting. Here's one of my favorite questions. Before I get to that favorite question, there's a lot of people who you talked about face-to-face. I just want to follow up with one thing. There's some people that just say, I don't want to do the face-to-face thing. We have systems for that. Send them to the system. Sponsor somebody, send them to the next step. Then have them call you when they're done. And then send them to the next step, have them call you when they're done. There's kind of tacticians, and then there's culture builders, relationship builders, different kinds of people. I think that the difference in income is massive. My read on you is that early on you were a pretty heavy tactician, and you shifted, and you became more of a culture builder. Is that accurate? Just because you're such a trainer.
Right. I've never thought about that before. I
What do you think?
don't know how much I've changed over the years. I'm
Pretty consistent?
Pretty consistent, yeah.
Okay.
And,
All right. Got it. Okay. My favorite question.
okay.
I'm a big fan of defining moments in your business, in your career, in this profession. That something that happened that fundamentally changed you. Some experience that you went through that fundamentally changed you. And I'm sure you've had a dozen of them or more, like I have. But when I asked you the question, I'm sure that there's also one that popped into your brain that was probably the dominant defining moment. And so for everybody else, and we haven't talked about this prior to that question, what was that defining moment for you?
Well, one thing that goes through my mind is when I came in this industry, after 4 months I was making $31,000 a month. I went to a point where all of a sudden I was able to qualify for a greater level of earnings because of a level that I reached. And I got a check for $31,600.
19 years ago.
Yeah, that was a record with that company that I was working with at the time, out of more than 2 million people that joined. And that was a pretty strong defining moment, and that is that this is for real. I mean, I even remember depositing it and thinking, is it going to clear the bank? I mean, it was that kind of a check. And obviously since then I've had checks over 200,000. So,
Right.
but that was a moment for me that really just showed that if you follow the systems, if you build your business right, you can really achieve great success. And let me just also say that on that thing about the tactician a moment ago, that question you asked, you won't find anybody who is highly successful in this industry who has the mentality that you just said about, we've got systems, I don't need to get together face-to-face with people. Somebody who says they don't need to get together face-to-face with people is clearly somebody who does not understand one of the most basic fundamentals of how to build this business. If you're not getting together face-to-face with people, your conversion rates are low and your attrition is high. And there's just nobody you can see in the industry who had that mentality. This is an industry, this is a business of relationships. It's the glue that holds it together. It allows you to have high conversion rates, it allows you to have a high success rate of retention within your organization. And so people who have that mentality that they're just going to plug people in the systems, they're going to send out videos, they're going to do everything they need to do but get together with people, those are people who clearly are not coachable, or they're being poorly coached, because that's not how you build a successful business.
Okay, so hiding out is not going to get you where you want to go.
Building an internet business. I'm going to sit at home on my butt, make phone calls, send out videos, send out CDs, send out magazines, whatever it is, and build a business. It doesn't work that way.
Okay. The information today, I mean, we could go for days.
Yeah, it would be fun.
And it would be fun. And sometime, it'd be fun to get a bunch of these, 10, 20, $30 million people all in the same room and have a real kind of brainstorming session. We may do that at some point. But there's going to be tens of thousands of people that watch this interview. So I don't know what thing you're kind of known for, what you're most passionate about, but if you have a message for those people, there's people who are watching this that are just looking at our profession that have not got involved, and people who've gotten involved and haven't had the success that they want and want the success, and every level of success beyond that. What message would you have for them? Go ahead and give it to them.
Well, first of all, this industry is not on trial. So the industry is not on trial. And, depending upon what company they're looking at, I mean, obviously your company's not on trial, my company's not on trial. At the end of the day, who's on trial is the individual. And another thing that's common among all successful people is their commitment. You're not successful in this business unless you have made a commitment that's obvious to everybody around you. Because when people say, well, I'm going to try this, I hope I can be successful, they're not going to be successful because they've already made up their mind, I'm going to see how it goes. So, my advice to people is that you can be successful. I mean, if you just apply yourself, if you're coachable, big word, coachable. I mean, one of the things I've learned is if you want to be successful, learn from those who have been successful. Just like people are watching this video, they're learning what they need to do to be successful. And, so be coachable. Follow your company's systems. Use your company's tools. And don't quit. I mean, winners never quit and quitters never win. And that's a big part of this is just make the commitment, understand that, there's no road to success that's free of obstacles. If you read Success Magazine, almost every story in there of somebody's success is filled with the challenges they've had. And, oftentimes people will have a failure or they call somebody who tells them they're not interested and, they're heartbroken. I mean, not everybody likes chocolate chip cookies, not everybody likes vanilla ice cream, not everybody likes coffee, not everybody's going to like a product that we sell, not everybody's going to be interested in our business, and it's a numbers game. And I think that's one of the advantages I had coming from real estate is I know that everything in life is a numbers game. And so for people that want to be successful, I think it's so important they come into the business and they're committed, they're coachable, they understand it's a numbers game, and that they understand that if they grow, their business will grow. And that, for some people it will take longer than others. I mean, you and I both know there's all kinds of stories of people in this industry who didn't make much money until their third or fourth year, but now have gone on and earned many millions of dollars. Yeah. And so for some people it happens faster than others, and oftentimes those are the people who may have come into the business with a different skill set, maybe people who are a little more disciplined, willing to work a little harder. But at the end of the day, if people don't quit and they just continue to grow and develop themselves and continue to strive for excellence, and that's, if I was to say my key to success has been that I have strived for excellence at the little things that matter. The little things you say on that invitation call, the little things you say on the follow-up call, the little things that you do in getting your people started. It's all about every time you get off the phone saying, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? How can I be better on the next call? When you get together with somebody, how did I do? What did I do right? What did I do wrong? What can I have done better next time? Every time you get a new person started, how did that go? What did I do well? What could I have done better? And if you continue to strive for excellence, if you continue every day to get better, if every night you go to bed you say, I am a person of greater value today than I was yesterday, then you're growing and your income will grow. There's no way that you can continue to grow and get better and better and not have your business and your rank and your check follow it. It just a fundamental law of life. You're going to grow and bring more value to the market. Your income and rank are going to grow. And so that's the most important thing for people to do. At the end of the day, if they want to measure their success, it's not by the size of their check. It's who they are, who they have become, and have they grown that day. And if they've grown that day, then they will, over time, continue to grow and develop a very successful business. So,
well, Todd, I'm so grateful, and I know everybody here is too, is grateful that you're spending a little time giving back to the entire profession, spreading this around the world. This will be seen all over the world. So I appreciate you taking the time to do it.
A lot of fun here. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's what I will tell you. If you enjoyed what you heard throughout this interview, I hope that you comment, and I hope you forgive the coughing. I've got a little bit of an allergy thing going on. But I hope that you comment. What did you like? What did you not like? Be part of the discussion with us inside of this whole Network Marketing Pro community. If you haven't gone to Facebook, there's a Network Marketing Pro fan page that has lots of articles and information that's all free for you and all part of a greater discussion and that we continue after these shows end. Third, if you're on Twitter, find me, twitter.com/Eric Worre. And again, we're building a great community over there. So let me close by saying this as always. My hope for you is that you decide to become a network marketing professional. Mr. Smith here is the quintessential network marketing professional. I hope you decide to go pro. If you do, you can be the change with us that our great profession is looking for. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.